Today saw an absolutely colossal piece of news or a rumour about a current Leeds United player that is at risk of being sold to Liverpool, at least according to the Daily Mail. I'm going to use this video to run you through what the rumour is and what the truth behind it is, because let's be honest, the Daily Mail isn't the most honest of places. Sorry if you like them. Sort of on you, though. First up, we got to run through what the story is, and it's a fairly basic one, to be honest, at least as transfer stories go. The general gist of the story is that Liverpool are set to make a move for Archie Gray. That's the headline figure, which there's a lot more detail behind it when you delve into the text, but on the face of it, Liverpool have an interest in Archie Gray is not the most insane thing you will have ever heard. Pushing on a little bit deeper, you find out that they're interested in maybe a £40 million plus fee, with Leeds United valuing him between 40 and 50 million quid. Completely fair enough from the Leeds United side. I think he's worth at least that. If you look at the amount that various football players go for, a 17-year-old that's already a championship starter, that when he's playing in midfield looks comfortably above the people that he's playing against, without a doubt, probably a good signing for that sort of money. I'd call it a bargain, to be honest, if Liverpool were to get him for £40 million, because he's got a decade and a half left on his career, probably even longer, and he's just going to keep growing and growing and growing, and could be an England star in the years to come. Us selling him would be a shocking idea for that sum of money, but apparently we may be forced to cash in 2025 as his contract in the next summer, as his contract currently only runs till 2025. That's something I'll come back to a little bit later, because it's one of the things that is potentially misinterpretable. But that is true. We do have a contract with Archie Gray until 2025, and various football traditions tend to stipulate that if you've got a year left on your contract, then it's almost impossible to hold on to a player, because you're going to want some money for him or he's going to leave on a free, especially when it's a wonder kid like Archie Gray that the football world is massively paying attention to. And there's plenty of reasons that Liverpool are paying attention to him. First up, you got the fact that he is a consistent championship starter. Lots of players that Premier League clubs will loan out will not be playing for championship clubs at the moment. They'll loan them to a championship side, and say, for example, last season, we loaned Jamie Shackleton to Millwall, not a 17-year-old, because I couldn't think of a 17-year-old example off the top of my head. But we loaned Jamie Shackleton to Millwall, and he didn't play week in, week out, because they had players in those positions or they weren't playing the right system, and that's completely normal. Can't really blame Millwall for that, can't really blame Leeds for that, can't really blame Shackleton for that. It just didn't work out. Meanwhile, Archie Gray, at 17 years old, is consistently starting in the Championship in a position that's not his own. He's playing at right back when nominally he's a central midfielder. The fact he's able to do that is telling of his severe quality and his potential, because again, 17 years old is another note for Liverpool to pay attention to. That's very young. Players do most of their development between 18 and 23-ish. I think I read a study on that. If I've got the numbers wrong, sorry. But that's roughly where players do the vast majority of their development. And the fact that they can sign this player that's already championship standard before that period is really enticing to a lot of clubs. That, and the fact that he has that high flexible positions, is very, very, very good. Lots and lots of footballers you will see at the moment will just be a central midfielder, and maybe they can do a little bit of defending whilst in midfield. Or they will be a right back, but they can push on a bit as a wing back. The fact that you can do both is really, really telling of not only ability, but the ability to learn as well. That, plus the fact that he currently plays for England's under-19s, means that he's got experience playing against good players from around the world, but not only good players, players that are older than him and have more maturity than him while still being clearly talented. You don't get into the youth setup of an international team without being good, but the fact that he's playing 2 years below his age range really, really tells that there's something in him here. Add on to that the fact that the Daily Mail article sort of emphasised that he's being compared to Trent Alexander-Arnold and stuff like that. You're getting the idea of why Liverpool might sort of be interested in him. And it's completely understandable that they are, and lots of teams will be, but the reality of the entire thing needs to be set out, because a lot of people will see this Daily Mail article and go, shit, we're selling him, or shit, Liverpool, please don't buy him. And that's not quite true. First up, I'm going to deal with the contract thing. There is a limit for under 18 contracts. When between the ages of 16 and 18, there's a set limit on the length of a contract that someone can sign. So I think you can sign it for 2 years, maybe 3 years, not that long, basically. And when Archie Gray signed that contract, he was able to sign it until the summer of 2025. And we got him to sign a contract as soon as we could because we wanted to tie him down. We didn't want to lose him. So I think there's a massive chance that we just tie him down to a longer contract once he turns 18. Or even later this season, say another couple of years till 2027, and make sure that we've definitely got a grip on him. The contract thing isn't us being incompetent, it's us following the rules and potentially taking a next step in the near future. In addition to that, there's going to be interest from a hell of a lot of clubs. There always is in young players, especially in wonder kids, especially of the standard that Archie Gray is. I was looking through a Reddit post on this entire thing, trying to learn a little bit more, and I saw a hell of a lot of people that were like, FM legend for me, and it's like, yeah, he would be, because he's really good and he's really young, and that sort of exposure means that lots and lots of big clubs will look at him and go, I want to sign him. Man City were exactly the same a couple of years ago, I think. Was it 2 years ago or 1 year ago? Either way, Manchester City have been interested in him. And the fact that Liverpool have some interest and it's now being reported doesn't change the situation that interest has probably existed for a good while. Add on to that, the £40 million is likely a bare minimum, or what is known as a fuck off price. That is effectively, if you give us a boatload of cash, maybe we'll consider it. It's not going to be if you put in a bit of £40 million, we will certainly accept it, because that's not the world that we live in right now. It will be a very complex deal with sell-on clauses, stuff like that. If it even happens, if that 40 to 50 million number isn't just yeah, piss off, we'll deal with you when we deal with you. There are a couple of potential issues that could lead to a sale, and the first one is failed promotion. If it comes to the summer of 2024, Leeds United are still a championship side, and we come to Archie Gray saying, would you like to sign a 5-year contract with us? That's where there might be a little bit of doubt. That's where he might go, I've bossed the championship last season. If we go into this season and it doesn't look like we're going to go up, I could either have a completely free exit route, or I could be stuck with a 5-year contract at a club that isn't going up, when he's clearly going to be Premier League standard. That's not necessarily like a likely prospect. And to be honest, Archie Gray is a fan of the club, so I don't see him holding the club hostage like that either. But it's something that could happen. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think he's likely to be a part of the team for years to come. Everything I've heard about him says that he lives Leeds, he breathes Leeds, and he will die Leeds. The fact that his family is so interconnected with the club means I don't see him leaving on bad terms at any point. If he were to leave, he would leave with full agreement from the club, and I don't think he'd do it at the age of 17 or 18. That would be absolutely bonkers. In addition to that, he's got family coming through in the academy. His brother Harry is 14 years old and is constantly playing for the under-18s to a high standard. I don't see this Archie Gray to Liverpool rumour going anywhere at all, purely because I don't think that we would benefit. I don't think Archie would benefit. And whilst Liverpool would benefit, doesn't really matter to us. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, and if you enjoyed it, comment down below what you think is going to happen with this entire situation, because I think it's an interesting one that we might have to keep an eye on in the coming weeks and months. And subscribe if you're not yet, maybe even become a channel member. I will see you next time.